Hey guys, so I wanted to do an update on some of the 40K stuff that I've been doing. Over the last weekend, I did the Connecticon GT in Hartford, Connecticut. We had 26 players, and it was a really great event. 5 rounds, 5 3-hour rounds at 2,000 points, no Forge World. I went 3-2 overall and finished 10th overall. So I was pretty much middle of the pack, but overall I had a great time. I had some great games with some really good players, and really interesting meta that we experienced. There was no Helldrakes. So I don't know if it was Tau or Eldar or what is scaring away the Helldrakes, but no Helldrakes at the event. So actually, the best overall was an Eldar list, and best overall is a combination of battle points, paint, and sportsmanship, which was won by Clay Saunders. Best general was the player with the best win-loss record, and if there was a tie, they go to battle points. But this was won by Bill Souza, who had a drop pod Space Wolves list that was heavily converted. It was pretty cool looking, and he did best general, and best painted was James Mahood, BC James. He played Space Marines. So I want to go over my list and want to go over some of my games. So I took Grey Knights with Eldar allies. The Eldar allies was kind of just something to mess around with. I got the new codex, and I had some old models lying around that I quickly painted up and had it similar to my White Knights color scheme. So starting out, I had what you see in front of you, Lord Drago, Caldor Drago. I also had Kodiaz. I took 10 paladins with 7 force halberds, 3 demon hammers, 3 psi cannons, and cybolt ammo. I took a 10-man strike squad with 2 psi cannons, cybolt, 1 halberd on the Justicar, and 1 demon hammer. Then I took 4 of the same units. I took the Razorbacks with cybolt ammo and with 3 acolytes as troops, because Cody has made some troops, so I took 4 of those. So that was my Grey Knights contingent. For the Eldar, I took a Farseer on foot. I took a 20-man unit of Guardians with 2 scatter lasers. I took 6 Rangers, and to round up the list, I took the Aegis Defense Line with the quad gun. So my first game was against James Mahood. He was playing Space Marines. He had Space Marines as primary, and he had Space Wolf allies. He had a Wolf Priest and a drop pod. He was casting Jaws, and I guess he was using that for the anti-Tau kind of meta list. So that game was Relic, as well as I believe there's two objectives each that we placed, and I ended up winning by 5 victory points because I controlled the Relic, and it was a really fun game. I've played James before. I've played his Tyranids, which he has a pretty good list. James is a great painter. He won Best Painted, and all his stuff looks really good. So he's really fun to play. How my list fared, some of the tactics that I used. Drago, with his grand strategy, I gave my Paladins and Strike Squad Scout special rule, and then I normally combat squatted them. So they're either able to scout move or able to outflank or deep strikes. So you have a lot of deployment options, and it gives you a lot of flexibility depending on what you're playing. Since he had 2 drop pods in his list, I deployed and combat squad the strikes so I could cast Warpquake, which helped. I had first turn. I actually had first turn in every single game that I played, which was kind of interesting. I figured go first if I can, so I can cast my psychic powers, cast Warpquake, cast some stuff on the Guardian Defenders with the Farseer, I was really lucky in this game. I got Misfortune on Kodiaz and on the Farseer, so that was a pretty potent combo that I liked using. So overall, the game was pretty good. I hit him pretty hard in the beginning by immobilizing his Land Raider with some side cannons after scouting, and overall, the scouting move really caught a lot of people off guard because it gets your side cannons in range pretty fast. So I won that game by 5 victory points, but overall it was pretty close. If I didn't have the objective with Drago's combat squad, I probably would have tied the game or potentially lost it. Every game I did combat squad my paladins. I put 5 with Drago with 3 hammers and 2 halberds, and then I put the 3 side cannons with Kodiaz. You cast prescience, and you kind of get a better bang for your buck. I know I'm not running the 4 side cannons. I just don't have the models put together. I just don't have them yet. I might do some conversions to get extra side cannons in there and tweak my list. My second game was against a guy, Sam. I think he finished 4th overall. He did really well. He was playing demons. He had a pretty balanced list, a big squad of, if I remember correctly, plague bears. He had 2 big units of corn dogs, the hounds, which were really, really fast. He had a defiler, he had a demon prince, he had some heralds and things, and just tons of different powers and stuff that's really hard to keep track of. I went first, I scouted up, I got really lucky, I blew up his, and I also got Misfortune on both Kodiaz and the Farseer again, which was really awesome. I was able to get first blood on him by blowing up the Defiler first turn with Kodiaz's squad. I got 2 pens and I rolled a 6 to blow it up. It was fantastic with the side cannons. And then with other combined fire, after scouting up, being really aggressive with my strike squad, I was able to kill a demon prince hiding behind a hill, which hadn't gotten in the air yet. So I guess some deployment mistakes on his part, but I got some really lucky to hit him with a pretty strong blow in the first turn. Something to note, I know everyone's saying that assault is dead. I mean, every single game I played, we had tons of assault going on. My second game, we were in assault turn 1, after he brought, we scouted up a ton of units, and it was just a mosh pit in the middle. It was pretty crazy and a lot of fun. My third game, so I actually won that game pretty decisively. We thought I had won full points, but we forgot one of the objectives that he had guys hiding behind. So I scored, I won by 7, so I scored 17 battle points. So my third game, I was able to play my buddy Bill Rhoda, Bob Rhoda, and had seen him, we've seen him at a lot of tournaments, and this was the first time I was able to play him. He's bringing a Zinj demon list with Screamers and Demon Princes and Fate Weaver, and it was pretty brutal. He beat me pretty good. He was casting the Grimoire, and he had the 4-up Invulnerable from Divination plus the Grimoire, so he had some 2-up rerollable invul saves on some Screamers and a lot of fast stuff, and he's a really good player, and he he beat me pretty good. It was close in the beginning, but then I just couldn't kill the 2-up rerollable stuff. So day 2, so after day 1, my record was 2-1. I was doing decent on battle points, but the third game against Bob really kind of put me out of the running, unless I were to get full points for my second 2 games. But my last 2 games, my fourth game on day 2, first game day 2, fourth game overall, I played Ryan Sinat. He had Horde Orcs, he had 3 Daka Jets, a bunch of Ludas, a bunch of boys, Warboss on a bike, and I was able to pretty much beat him on the mission. I got first turn, I scouted up my guys and just started shooting, and moved up to Eldar, had them shooting, had them blade storming. I got ignore cover on the Farseer, and some cool combos with that with Divination worked really well. That game took a while because we had a lot of stuff going on. He had tons of models, and it was just like, I think I was able to kill about half his, I don't know, half his models. There was just tons of orcs flying all around, and it was a grind. But that was a fun game, and the last game. So I won that game by, I want to say, 6-5. I forget exactly what I won it by, but it wasn't a crazy victory, but it was a pretty solid victory. The last game was against Sean McLeod, and he actually brought another demon list, Flying Monstrous Creature demon list, and it was a really close game. It was Relic and 2 other objectives each side, and he ended up beating me by 3 points. He did a really nice move with Fate Weaver, and he flew him onto the Relic, so I couldn't get it on the second turn, and I ended up actually being able to misfortune Fate Weaver and with combined shooting kill him, but he had 4 other flying monstrous creatures in that, and he kind of rolled over my my paladin. So I'm trying to think about reworking the list to try to be a little bit more sturdy in combat. Maybe add some swords to get, instead of a 5-up invul, get a 4-up invul in combat, and maybe a warding staff or a stave or whatever it is to get the 2-up invul, just so I could take some more damage against the. These demons have some crazy powers, and they're just really, really hard hitting. I'd say the list that would do good against a list like that would be a horde list, because they just wouldn't be able to grind through enough of that. But the way my list was, they were able to hit the paladins pretty hard. I stood up against Bob Roda's a little bit better, but he was able to beat me by contesting objectives at the end, because he actually had a little bit more speed than Sean, because he had two large units of screamers, which were really tough to deal with. So overall, it was great. It was a good time. I suggest people check out local tournaments that are going on. You may have to drive a couple hours, get a hotel, or if it's close enough, you can just drive to a one-day RTT, like a 3-round event. The people are really fun to play with. It's not scary. Most people, they're not dicks or anything. So I know a lot of people are kind of hesitant to do a tournament, but you really learn a lot of different things, and really learn how to play the game, and see how a list would do against 3 to 5 to 6, even up to 7 different opponents, and have a lot of fun at it. So check out the Connecticon GT blog. Brendan put up all the results and all the lists and everything. So hope you guys watching enjoyed my recap, and looking forward to trying to put up some more stuff for you guys. I know I haven't been on in a while, and I'm working on some Tyranid stuff, so we'll see how that goes. But after playing the GT with the Grey Knights, and I kind of want to build up, tweak the Paladins a little bit, and maybe play around with the Eldar allies, or maybe try some Tau allies or something like that. I know Tau, everyone, unless you're playing Tau, everyone hates Tau. But actually, there was only one Tau player there, which was surprising. Lots of demons. I played 3 demons. Lost 2 of them, won 1 of them. So it really depends on the matchup, and every game's different. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll try to put up some more stuff. Thanks.